I found out that my daughter's boyfriend has been badly abusing her, so I physically assaulted him. Plus update. Recently my 22-year-old daughter Liz has started seeing this guy named John she met at the bar who has been nothing but trouble. Since they started dating she hasn't allowed me to go visit her apartment all that often, and usually when she does she makes me tell her days in advance. I have met her boyfriend on a few occasions and to be honest I did not like him. He was very rude to both me and my daughter and I had to check him a few times. Now, a huge problem I have is that whenever I see her, she always wears clothing that would cover most of her body and has a lot of makeup on. She has never worn makeup before, so it struck me as odd and I became suspicious. When I asked her about John she got defensive and invasive about it, almost like she was scared of him. Recently I have seen new bruises appear on her arm and neck area. She has tried to cover it up but I've noticed it. I have asked her about them and how she got them and she would give those cliché excuses such as, "Oh, at work I hit myself or I fell while biking. I was not born yesterday," and immediately found it suspicious and called her out on it. She got angry and told me to let it go and not worry about it. I suspected that John was responsible. Ever since he came into her life she has changed and now I am certain that he puts her hands on her. 2 weeks ago I paid her a surprise visit at her home. And to no surprise it was John who answered the door. I let myself in and asked him where Liz was. She came out of her room and was shocked to see me. She wasn't covered up with many layers so I got to see everything. Every bruise, every handprint mark on her body. Her neck was bruised, her stomach seemed to have burn marks and her arms were purple. I was horrified that my suspicions were true and before I knew it I lost my self-composure and laid hands on John. Badly. I beat him a lot. I am not proud of it. I threw John out of her apartment. She was angry at me and through her tears was telling me she told me not to worry about it, that I should have left it alone. She was making me feel like I was the bad guy. She told me to get out. Before I left I again reassured her that I would always be her father and whatnot. It has been 2 weeks and each time I've tried to reach out to her she has been distant with me and has denied any invitation to dinner with me. I made sure that John was not coming over anymore and she confirmed that she had left him but that she still did not want to see me. Update. I decided to call in sick to work today and wanted to go spend the day with my daughter. I did not tell her in advance. I wanted it to see if that filthy effing animal was there and did not want her to give him a heads up. I decided to head to her place early. I picked up some flowers and her favorite snacks. As I was walking up the stairs to her apartment room I heard loud screaming and banging. I would be lying if I told you guys that it didn't make my skin crawl. I was praying that it wasn't him, that my daughter was okay. My mind and heart were racing. When I made it to her floor I saw him. He was banging on the door trying to get in, screaming to be let in. At that moment I felt as if the world froze. It is hard to explain but I felt a moment of calm and clarity. I dropped the flowers and the snacks on the floor and made my way towards him. He was too busy being an absolute waste of a man to notice me. I swung at him so hard I broke not only his nose but maybe some of my fingers. I'm too old to be fighting and my hand is swollen. I did not stop swinging at him. Not even when he fell unconscious. Not when he hit the floor. I was ready to unalive him. The only reason I stopped was because my daughter pulled me off of him. It turns out that she was watching him through the door peephole. This time she did not scream at me. She did not cuss me out. She hugged me. I could hear her muffled cries. I kinda cried but pulled myself together and told her to pack what was most important to her, that she would be staying with me until everything was resolved. She silently went back into her home and started to pack. I could not believe it but the F-ker was still alive and starting to get up. I grabbed him and told him that if I ever saw him again I would unalive him. To never effing show his face again and to leave my daughter the F alone. He simply nodded and I tossed him aside. It took Liz a while but she eventually came out with a small suitcase and we headed back to my home. Crap. Now that I typed this out I forgot about her flowers and snacks back at the apartment. She is now safe under my roof once again. At the moment she is doing fine and is cooking me my favorite meal while I sit on the porch drinking a beer and typing this out.